Welcome to Tiffdoesloans Podcast. Today I have Justin Reynolds.
Yeah.
Finally, he came on here. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
I've sent a bunch of requests. Justin is with DE Properties.
Yep.
Thank you so much for coming. So why don't you just kind of tell us how you got started? He's like one of my multi-investor guys. Anytime I'm looking for multi-properties, 4 units, this is my go-to. So why don't you just introduce, just kind of how you got started into real estate and what you guys are doing right now.
Okay. Well, I'll give you kind of the short rundown of my career when it started. I got into real estate when I was 18. Nice. So I'm 43 now, so it's been 25 years. It started off as kind of a random whim. I graduated from high school and backpacked Europe for about a month. And my mom was like, you need a job before you go off to college. And so she found something in the classified, because this is like how it was back in the day in 2000.
This is back in the day.
And she was like, there's a real estate company on the Newport Peninsula that's looking for somebody to just assist as a runner, right? And so I went down there, and I think they liked me because I had a minivan, so I could like run stuff, literally like signs and all sorts of stuff to different properties.
Oh, wow. Like an actual runner. Yeah. So you're just
I was full runner.
So you're almost like helping all the agents just like set up.
Yep. And they had a vacation rental management company that they also ran out of this brokerage. And so like I was literally like moving toasters from one place to another and all sorts of stuff. So they hired me in like July of 2000 at 18, and then I went off to San Diego State and I got a degree in business. But every summer and every like vacation time that we got away from school, they always wanted me to come back and assist. Mm-hmm. So I worked with them all 4 years, which was a great job because I lived in Newport, but I lived in San Diego, but I grew up in Newport. Yeah. And so every time I came back, they had me back.
And it's real estate.
Yeah. So I always had a job every time I came back. And when I graduated when I was about to turn 22, and they offered me a full-time job at this company. And they were, again, property management, vacation rental management, and a real estate brokerage out of there. And I saw the way that they had set up their business model, and it was really cool. So right away, they asked me to get my real estate license because you need that to operate a property management. So in 2005, I got my salesperson license. And so I just hit the 20-year mark as a member of the Association of Realtors for California, which I got a nice little thing in the mail. It said, congratulations on 20 years. So that was cute. And then the guy who owned it and was the broker of record there was a good mentor to me. And he kept pushing me. He kept giving me all these like self-help books and investment books and all these different things. And he was like, you need to get your broker's license because you're fresh out of college. Taking tests is still something that's fresh in your mind. Yeah. At the time, you had to have 2 years of salesperson experience in order to get your broker's license. I don't think you need that now, but I'd have to double check.
I don't think so. I think a lot of people just go right to it.
I think if you have a 4-year degree, then you can just qualify to get your broker's license like right out of school. But check that because I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't want to do that route, like me personally, so I never really, even on mine, like for the mortgage. Yeah. I've like never dreamt of like, I don't want to actually be the broker. Yeah. I just want to find somebody that has amazing ties. Yeah. And then do that. And so that's what I did.
And I probably wouldn't have gone that route.
Real estate is different.
Yeah. If you're doing transactional, stuff, it's just kind of like another thing to add to your resume sort of deal. But this guy was adamant. He's like, look, at a certain point, you're not going to want to work for somebody else. You're going to want to do something on your own.
That's so great to have.
And so in 2007, I got my broker's license. Wow. And so I don't know if you recall, because you're a little younger than I am, but...
No, that's when everything crashed.
Everything started crashing in 2007. 2007 was still peak, but then in 2008, it really hit the fan.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, did you get on like the foreclosure
That was the
feel like
trend.
that was the trend.
The trend
All the
was
real
to
estate
do
agents.
short sales, try and get in with
Yeah.
banks, doing foreclosures, things like
Okay.
that. But like the mortgage industry had been booming. People had been trying to recruit me to go into mortgage. I
Thought
saw
about it.
like the writing on the wall at the time. And this company that I was working for, at this point, I'd been with them for 8 years, 4 years full-time, 4 years part-time. But somewhere along the way, one of the partners of the business, she's a gal, her name's Joan Trout, amazing.
Awesome.
She let me, kind of recruited me to be like her transaction coordinator and help facilitate the sales and do open houses at her properties. And so it was a quick, like, I just got into the paperwork and figured out how to do all of the transactional stuff, which was great. So, and they were paying me a salary and they were paying me a commission based on like
That's so good, yeah.
transactions that were done. So unlike a lot of people who just get into real estate, I was actually getting a salary, so I was able to
I did it
learn
that way.
without having to go through the bumpy road of like waiting for a transaction to close before I got my first paycheck.
That's gnarly, yeah.
So it was an amazing way. I know most people probably won't have that opportunity.
I did it that way with the loans. I started at a retail lender where they gave me, it wasn't like salary, it was base, base pay. And then I got commission, but only like 30%. So small commission.
Yeah.
Like now I'm
the other
times.
way. Yeah, the other way. Yeah.
Now, but it's a lot harder. Like I have to get my own leads. So the commission was lower, but I did have opportunity for like
and
bonuses.
I was at a 50-50 split,
Yeah.
and I was super green and very novice. And but to be expected. I mean, that's the way most people come into the industry. They, even if you're 50 and you just get your real estate license, if you want to work for a major like brokerage, they're going to give you a 50-50 split. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about getting in the real estate industry. Is
it usually what ours was? Yeah, mine was basically. It's a little different in the mortgage world, but like 30 bips. So I still just think of it like 30%.
Yeah.
But
in residential and multifamily housing, even
residential.
commercial, it's generally a 50-50 deal. And you're generating your own leads too. Like most places aren't just handing you stuff.
Okay, so they were giving me.
Okay, that's the different thing in the mortgage.
They were
biz.
giving me
like your phones are ringing.
It was almost like I could never. I did very well, but I just got all my experience and then I left.
Yeah.
So I left after 2 years, but I closed 85 loans with them.
Nice.
In 2 years.
You cut your teeth on that. That's
It was
great.
I've worked on like 1,000. Like it's so wild because like now I do business so differently than like that machine.
Yeah.
But like it made me a better to have that experience.
Totally.
I had great managers there, everything. So I was super blessed.
Shout out to them. Well, and then in 2008, crashed, right?
Just nothing.
And people were bailing out of the real estate industry like crazy. Like I would say they lost 50% of the agents in Southern California. Just,
like now?
just decided to
Do you think that
go a
it was
different route.
bigger now? Like
more so then than now. Like now is for sure like there's a decrease in agents, but there's so many
but
agents.
so many people are still coming in,
Yeah,
I feel like.
it's crazy.
This year, I know
Everybody
a lot of
is
people that
related
got
to
licensed.
somebody or knows somebody who's a real estate agent in their circle.
Yeah.
So it's hard to stand out, right? You have to find a niche, but and I'll probably talk about that in a little bit. But so 2008 crashed. I actually got accepted to get into the MBA program at San Diego State.
Okay, nice.
And so I just took a year off, and I had just sold a property on the oceanfront and it made $85,000.
Jeez.
And I took
You
that
just
money.
been like cruising.
And I took that money and I went to grad school. And so I basically paid for grad school with that money. And then I got out and it was like the Great Recession. So it was like, now we're like late 2009 and nobody's hiring. And I even got to the point where I like removed my MBA from my resume because I was just looking for a spot. And I didn't want to go back to my old real estate company, even though they would have probably allowed me to. But some people that I worked with at that shop talked to me when I was doing my schoolwork, and they were like, we're thinking about opening a business, and we want you on board. We want you to be the broker, and you can be a partner in it. And so I took it, at that point I was like, well, I don't know what else I'm going to do. And I already have a background in this.
And
so
you already know how to do it.
And I know how to do it. So I'm like, okay, all right, this has got to be my career path. So horrible time to open a business in a recession.
12, it turned
yes.
around.
So, but it took
a couple of years.
It took years
That's how I feel now.
of grinding. Yeah. So it was grinding. Our current setup is that we're a real estate brokerage that help people buy and sell, and we also manage a lot of properties. So depending on what you consider a lot, we're north of 300 doors that we manage. A lot of multifamily housing, so a lot of like 2 through 4 units. We're located right where the border of Costa Mesa and Newport is on 17th Street. So we have a lot of property on the peninsula that's, duplexes, triplexes. But then there's a lot of stuff in Huntington, Costa Mesa, that is multifamily. Santa Ana is multifamily, Huntington Beach. Like these are kind of our areas that we service the most. And so we've now been in business for 18 years, same location the whole time. And we help our clients. We have about 80 clients that we currently work with. And we help them buy and sell their properties when the time comes, depending on different phases of their life. And we also market towards our tenants because eventually tenants are going to be potential buyer pools. Yeah. So we market to our tenants. We let them know that we're agents as well. So when they're ready to buy, it's like we've already established this relationship for a long time. And so they know who we are and like they trust us, and then we turn around and help them.
And you guys have been already taking care of them for years. Like they go to you, right? Like if anything goes south.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I feel like that's a really good.
Yeah. So our niche works is that rather than a traditional real estate agent who farms like a community and door knocks and makes phone calls on a regular basis, cold calling, warm calling, handing out flyers, doing different events, we establish our clients through our property management business.
I like that. It's more of just a relationship base. I feel like it's more like even what I do here, I build, my relationships through my podcast. So it's not exactly like, it's just not like closing a deal right there, but it's like the start. I feel like it's kind of the same. I think that's important.
Oftentimes we close the transaction and we're still working with the person, right afterwards.
And you're so close, you're nearby. It's almost like you live in your farm. So it's like,
for sure.
It's like you're always going to be top of mind. People have to, because we keep expanding our farms, that's why it's like, and you can't reach that many people. So it's like you have to stay on top of mind. And that's how it gets so hard, because now you're like trying to go further and further. But I feel like if you build that community and everything around, then smart.
Yeah. And that's where we're at today.
Then they come to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That must be nice. That's not everybody's story in real estate right now.
And there's certain touch points that we do. We reach out to clients on a regular basis when something's about to hit the market, just as a reminder to them, like, hey, we're selling properties for our clients, just to keep us on top of their mind as like, oh, Justin and DE Properties and their team do sell properties, so that they don't go wander off to find a different agent. We want to keep those relationships tight and make sure that they're at least cognizant of the fact that that's what you do.
And so you work with a lot of investors there, a lot of investors, multifamily. How do you best guide them if now is the right time to sell, exchange, or keep reinvest?
Yeah. So oftentimes there's certain circumstances that happen in their life. They're in their later years, and they're like, my kids have no interest in inheriting this fourplex that I have.
That's so wild. I keep hearing these stories.
Why
don't these kids want the properties?
Happens all the time.
It's so wild.
Yeah, and it's
live in one and rent out the rest.
Yeah, and then,
especially in California. I wish somebody in my family just gave me a fourplex in California. That's wild. And I keep hearing this story of these kids not not wanting the business.
They just
or
want the
not
cash. Give me the money now
Oh,
and
wow,
let me
yeah.
do with it what I want. I would rather have the cash flow than the big,
I would
chunk of
rather have
money.
the cash flow. I'd rather keep the property.
Yeah.
Just
absolutely.
seeing, especially in California, the appreciation.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, even if they do the math and look at what their parents bought it for,
Yeah.
and then to see where it's come
Yeah.
in like basically probably in the years of them, growing, like maybe 15, 20 years or
Yeah.
something. I don't know. But that's like hundreds. That's more than whatever they're going to go do. It's not going to bring in that type of, and if they take that money and, odds are, unless they want to reinvest it, if they have that investor mind.
Right.
But odds are they're probably going to take it and go buy a liability.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then you've lost all this appreciation.
Yeah.
So
And
I think it's like that guidance.
you'll see, I see this on a regular basis. So I sold a fourplex in Santa Ana last year where the client bought it for like $170,000
Oh my
back in
gosh.
the early 80s. We sold it for $1,750,000.
So good.
And then another client, he sold a triplex in Costa Mesa. He bought it for $250,000 in '79, and we sold it for $2.250. So,
Are you a big fan of the exchanges? So I know
Yes.
you do those.
yeah,
But for these clients that do have big properties like that, do you because I've heard swap until you drop.
Yeah.
Do you what are you having them do right now? Are you having them exchange what I've seen a lot in California is with these California they have triplexes, fourplex, but they're not getting getting cash flow. So I have seen that they're kind of exchanging and going other states and
Out of
getting
state.
multiple,
Yeah.
and then making up all that cash flow.
Yeah.
Have you been seeing that?
I just closed a transaction in this month,
Okay.
like 2 weeks ago. It was a guy who we've managed his property for 14 years. It's a Aliso Viejo,
Yeah.
2-bedroom, 2-bath condo that was bringing in $2,500 in rent a month. And he owed he bought it for $350,000 and he only owed $100,000 on it.
Okay.
And we sold it for $770.
Nice.
And he took the money and 1031 exchanged into a triplex in Kansas City that
Okay.
made way more
Way
money.
more. That's what I've
Yeah.
been seeing so much.
And it was his cash flow went so he bought that property, paid
And
off
the
the
taxes
paid off the first trust deed,
Yep.
bought cash for the property out in Kansas City, and his cash flow went up to $6,000 a month, from the triplex out
Yeah.
there. And so he has no more liability and $6,000 a month cash flow. But out of state is a lot different than
It's
Southern
just
California.
Not, it's not Southern California.
Yeah.
You're not going to have the appreciation, but again,
Right.
it's he's getting what's most important is the cash flow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
So even if it takes longer to appreciate,
mhm.
it's still, if you're thinking generational, it's hey, in 20 years, that'll be great for one of your
Yeah.
grandkids or something.
Yeah.
And you get to because that's triple the cash flow.
Yeah.
That's why I've been hearing it so much from
Yeah.
people in Laguna or Newport. They're sitting on, they
Yeah.
want to sell, but they don't want to get hit with all these
Yeah.
taxes
Yep.
because they bought their house so long ago
Mhm.
and now they have a ton of equity.
Yeah.
And I've been hearing a lot about that and just success stories, but I still feel it takes an expert like you
Yeah.
or a guider to actually,
Yep.
I'm sure picking the area and all these things
Yeah.
are important.
So you got to have an idea if you're going to
Yeah.
do that, what you're going to do with the money, right?
Yeah.
And some people you can sell a property that's an investment property, right? You can take some of that, the proceeds from that, and you can take what's called a boot, right,
Yeah.
which is taxable income. You could partly use capital gains from it and take some money out of it, and then take the remainder and buy other investment property. So you don't, just because you sell, let's just use $1 million, that's
Yeah.
a round number. if you just had $1 million, tax liability, you can defer that and purchase another property with that $1 million and exceed it, right? You can buy like a 1.8 million, you have to come up with the $800,000. But you can buy an $800,000 place and you can take the hit on the $200,000 tax, capital gains tax.
It's still a lot lower than on the million.
Yeah. So, and you can invest that 800 grand into another investment property. So it's a great tool to defer taxes. And, most people utilize that to, go from a duplex to a fourplex to an eightplex to an apartment building. They'll just, continue to.
Yeah, that swap till you drop.
Swap till you drop.
That kills me. But it makes sense because like all these laws with like the taxes, and it's just, you can't, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's like, it's tough because like.
Giving up 40% hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's just like, you might as well just keep it because, so I do love this whole, I have other people, I'm sure you're building relationships in other states, or I've kind of seen that more now, especially because you're property management. I don't, but other states, and now it's really working at trying to get, focusing on that cash flow.
Yeah.
Versus the.
I think that's what everybody's goal is when they buy an investment property, is to see it get to the finish line on the mortgage, right? Like you really see the gain. I mean, there's always the appreciation, which everybody's banking on, especially in California. But like, you want to get to that 30-year, like pay off that mortgage so that all that rent is now going into your pocket. Like that is the end game. Like hopefully you get in early enough that you see that you can pay that thing off. And then your retirement years are cash flow and, deferred maintenance.
I feel like for yours too, like your people, these aren't just like big investors. These are like regular people who paid off their house and then they like have another property. Yeah. So they definitely, they need you. Like they need, like, when the investors, like, sure, like talking to an investor is just like, dude, it's all money. Like, I've seen these investors, like, I'll give them a deal and it's just like, they'll know, like, nope, these numbers don't make sense. Like within 2 seconds, they know what to look for. But somebody that's like maybe living at one of your buildings, like, they don't, they don't plan to. They might not have that full investor mentality. So and I feel like
a lot of my guys are like, kind of regular mom and pop, people that they're like, best thing I ever did. I was 50 years old and I invested in this duplex. Yeah. And, they paid it off in 15 years and now they're in retirement mode. And they're like, best investment I ever made. It tripled in value
even
and
just
cash
one
flow.
For people, I think it would be good. Yeah. But some just see the negative. Even like I recently, I talked to my dad about that. I was like, man, why didn't you? We had planned to like upgrade. Like, why didn't? Especially when you hear the prices, like, man, you got this house at like $150,000. Yeah. It's worth almost $1 million, and he's like, no, I didn't want to rent it out. Like, he didn't want to do that. That looked like more to rent it out. Just looked like a problem to him. Like, he just saw that. No. We kept our one, but we never did the whole thing where you like rent that one and then go get another. Yeah. Because he's like, no, like I didn't want to. They didn't want to actually rent it out because they saw more problems than like didn't see. But this guy, they saw to the retirement, basically. Like, and they, like, I feel like if he would have taken that, he would have made it to that.
Somebody, I think it was my former mentor and broker, he was just like, don't ever sell real estate if you don't have to. So if you're living in a home that you've purchased and it's a single family home and you want to upgrade your lifestyle and you can afford to do that without selling that primary residence, keep that, rent it out, buy your next property, and start a portfolio of investment property. And we have quite a few people that way. It started as a condo that they bought, and then their family expanded and they outgrew their place. But rather than selling the condo, they kept the condo as a rental. And now they bought the single family home and now they have a rental property.
And I always try to get them to, I feel like that was more of the real estate pitch. But that kind of changed a little bit after like 2020 because now people can't, everyone's stuck.
Yeah, it's tough now.
They can't, I feel like everybody, most people, that was like the real estate 101. Like that was the pitch. Like, hey, you're going to get in here, you're going to live here for 2 years, and then you're going to rent it out, and then you're going to get a new place. Yeah. But then 2020 happened, and everybody's in these low rates, and then, the last 3 years happened. So everybody's just been kind of stuck. They can't move. They can't make the movements until the rates get a little lower, which they're going down.
They're starting to creep
down.
We're
getting there. Like, honestly, I mean, I'm quoting people at 5%. Like, that's where everybody wanted to be. We're there. I mean, FHA. Yeah. It's still, I see us going down. I don't see just in my gut. Just in my heart, I don't think 2026 is going to be like the year. Yeah. I think it's more going to be like 27. I feel like a lot of magical things are going to happen, After this year, I feel like it's going to be a bridge. Yeah. But I feel like a lot of changes are happening this year, or things are finally being looked at in a new lens. Yeah. And I think there's going to be a lot of positive changes. Yeah, you had mentioned... But nothing super fast.
Yeah, you had mentioned, like, what's the trends that I'm seeing in the market. And
in OC.
In OC, we're in Southern California, Orange County. And, like, this year specifically and Q4 of 25, I noticed for the first time in many years, since, like, 2020, it started to shift into a buyer's market.
I feel like it's been in buyers.
Yeah, so it's like, but it's full now. Like it's days on market for listings are going up significantly.
I'm telling everyone.
Price reductions are happening.
I was like, this is when you get your deal, bro.
This is it.
I've been telling people. I tell them, I'm like, look, even if you're not sure, like if we're pre-approved, I'm like, just swipe, bro. Like just swipe. Yeah. Just when you're out, just swipe. Wait until you see like, if you see a good deal, because I'm telling you, we can get negotiations. It's already starting to turn a little bit now that the rates are going. We just the other day we put an offer in, and there were 12 offers, and that one was 1.5.
Yeah.
So that was
even the higher side of the market.
Even the higher, because now that they're a little lower, I mean the
buyers
more
are starting to jump in. Yeah.
Even like more qualified, they're going.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just wanted, because that one, I was a little surprised. 1.5. Everybody went over, and 12 offers.
So what I've been telling my sellers, because I primarily represent sellers, like I have several that are already under contract that are going to hit the market in the next couple months. And I've told them the way that pricing right now is working best for the market is list on the low side of the market and build demand for it. So like if you think you have a gut instinct that your property is worth $1 million based on the comps, right? Mm-hmm. And we put the property on the market because there used to be a strategy of like listed at 1.1 and we'll see, what comes in.
But you don't want to drop it now,
but then
right?
You have to wait, and then you have to make...
you have to drop it.
Decreases, price cuts.
And that's when the buyers are like...
Price improvement.
Like sharks.
So if you list it right now at $950, then you have like 10 potential buyers that like see the value in this, and they want to put in offers.
And now they go back and forth.
And then you have multiple counter offer situation. You build that back up. Yeah. So that's going to move faster than trying to price it on the high side of the market and letting it sit for 100 days. And people start going, this listing's stale. What's wrong with the property?
It definitely is a change of mindset, because you're going to at least have like 2 or 3 people that are in love with it. Yeah. And then they're going to be like, we don't want it. Everyone's going to be kind of fighting for it and putting over when if you drop it, I'm telling you right now, like if it's dropped, you're going to have all the loan officers out there or the realtors like in the world. And we're hitting up our clients like, bro, this has been sitting for 45 days. We're going to ask for $30,000 in like seller credits. Yeah. So it's like, it definitely changes it. And I do like that still is kind of going a little higher, because the seller, I still feel like, gets what they wanted, or more, still a little higher,
Mm-hmm.
and the buyer gets seller credits. It's a lot tougher.
Yeah.
So I do kind of like that angle. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's best for both of them, but because usually like I have them don't ask. I always, if there's a price cut, my strategy, what I tell my clients is what I think is the best strategy to keep it at what they ask for originally, but then ask for seller credits to help us with the payment.
Sure.
So they're still taking the hit, but it's not lower than like what they thought.
Or potentially less cash out of pocket for closing costs or things like that.
So usually I'll do that.
Yeah.
So the seller's still kind of getting what they thought, and then I'll have them bring that up back to their original.
Yeah.
Which most sellers are like okay with that. Because like, okay.
Yeah. Still getting what they want at the end of the day.
Exactly. And so you're not going into it too much. So I feel like I've always kind of looked out for both. But I feel I already see it turning though. Mm-hmm. There's supposed to be another Fed meeting, I think, and there's supposed to be another cut.
Yeah, I would anticipate probably for the next several quarters because they do
Well,
quarterly.
I know it is funny now. His chair's up now. He just keeps cutting them. Like, bro, I'm pretty sure mentally that seat is already filled.
Yeah,
I don't know how it works, sure. But there's got to be somebody else. I think the chair is up in May. Okay. And I just pray every day that somebody with another vision will be in there.
Yeah.
Like, we need another lens. Get it out of there. That lens is broken.
Yeah.
It's not working. Like, we need another, let's do another angle. Yeah. Because whatever has been happening, I mean, it's been a long time and we need some relief. So,
yeah.
Hopefully.
So, and Southern California hasn't been hit, with price reductions as bad as like the rest of the nation, but there's other areas that have been hit, like they're 25% down from,
even the values are coming back lower.
Appraisals?
Yes.
Yeah.
For my refinances, I'm seeing a lot of it in Texas.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Texas, it boomed huge during COVID.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so I sold all the, or not I sold, but, I'm the loan officer, but I did all these, got all these homes, 21 maybe, 21, 22, 20. And now we're like refinancing. And I was like, oh, sweet. It's been like 3 years. Yeah. Like, heck yeah, Brenda, let's go, And no, the values are coming back lower than what they purchased for.
Really?
And it's been like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is not good. I've been trying to talk to people, other professionals like in Texas, like what's going on? Because I feel like I look at the areas and there's no decrease. But they're just like, a lot say that they built too much in 2020 because they had such the big like flux going in, and then I guess if they like overbuilt. Yeah,
inventory is too high, and not enough buyers.
So now I guess, but that's been a little gnarly, but I'm not seeing that out here.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, just like, mainly in Texas.
Yeah, they're still trying to develop everything they can, like here in Orange County. They're doing. There's this proposal, and it's gonna happen. The golf course here in Irvine.
I've heard about that.
It's gonna be they're being sold. Irvine Company is acquiring it. That's what's the name of that course? I should know it because I play it, but it's right here off Culver and just on the inside of between 405 and 5.
Okay.
And I think that's being sold for like $4 billion to the Irvine Company to develop for new housing in Irvine.
Like a golf course?
Yeah, the golf
course.
They're
going to turn it into...
Well, they're going to eliminate the golf course, and all that land is going to be developed as new housing for Irvine. So it's going to be a whole new community in Irvine, So there's a lot more housing to be built.
So you have to find somewhere else to golf?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That Irvine Company.
Yeah.
They're just buying up. I mean, Irvine Company is everywhere.
They have unlimited resources, it seems.
Yeah. No, it's huge. I mean, they're not just like but that's like Newport, right?
That's Irvine.
Or,
yeah.
So are they?
Yeah, but they're
Irvine?
No, they're in
No,
Newport
they're
and
like
Irvine.
more,
They're just
okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
Orange County.
I don't want to sound like
they don't just limit themselves to
like
the
just
city of
Irvine, but I know
No.
they have all over Irvine, but then
yeah.
I've seen them in other places too.
Yeah.
And then let's do some advice to, okay, so you do work with a lot of like newer investors. We've already kind of like dabbled into it. You think this year is going to be a pretty good year. You kind of feel like it's a buyer's market.
Yeah.
So what would your advice be? We could do kind of newer investors.
Sure. Okay.
That, if there's still a lot of people on the sidelines because like these last 3 years have been, I mean, if you're experienced, you're buying because it's just a part of it. The market's always going to be up and down.
Yeah.
But if you still kind of been on the sidelines, what would your advice be to these future investors? Could be first-time homebuyers.
Sure.
But looking to get in the OC market this year.
Yeah. So I didn't do this, but this was something that like was told to me as like a good way to get into the investment game is if you're interested in doing this and you have to kind of be able to roll with the punches a little bit, buy a duplex or a triplex and live in the front unit. You get better rates, as you would know, because you're an owner-occupied investment property owner.
You can still do a low down too.
Yeah.
For like FHA.
So do that, and they will take into account the other income of the property to help offset, your ratios and stuff like that. So if you can do that and you buy a duplex or a triplex, live in one, rent out the other one with the concept of knowing that this is your stepping stone, right? This is your base. This is where you're going to move from, and then you're going to turn around and buy something else. But you're using the concept of first-time home buyer into buying investment property. You get better rates. You can get in there. Once you get comfortable, established, and it starts to cover itself, then turn around and buy something else.
And then you can go get a new primary.
I have a client that I love that I've worked with for 20 years, and he has literally bought a home, moved into it with his family, had a kid, outgrown it, bought the next home, rented that out. Then he has 2 kids, and then he's, outgrown this house, and then he's bought the next one. He has 5 homes in his portfolio that I manage for him.
That's so great.
And I help him, purchase the next home each time, and we continue to manage the properties for him on his behalf. And he's started that in his 30s, and he's now in his 50s, and he owns 5 homes that is investment property, and one that's his primary,
I
place
love that
he lives. You have to be a little bit flexible. I know people hate moving, but it's one of those things that if you want to do this from a long-term, wealth perspective,
that's how you start.
That is a great way to do it if you don't have the capital to just go out and buy an investment property. So, and then to the people that do have the capital to put 25% down and look at the numbers.
DSCR.
There are DSCR. There are opportunities out here in Southern California. Cap rates north of 6 are harder to come by than you would think. But if you start to dabble outside of the state, you can find quite a few opportunities where you can get
still cash flowing.
Cash flowing, getting north of 10% cap rates. States that come to mind are or cities. Memphis, Tennessee is a huge one. Cleveland, which I know people.
Ohio's
really
big,
Ohio's a big one.
I have a bunch of Ohio investors, or Tennessee.
Tennessee is a huge one.
I think the Carolinas are still cash flowing really well too. Somebody sent me one, and it was 1.9 on the DSCR. Because usually we get them in at a 1 ratio, but it was 1.9. I was like, bro, go back. I think that was North Charlotte or something. I was like, that's really good.
Yeah.
For a time like this.
I think it might be a little late in the game to jump into Phoenix. Phoenix was, not to say that it is completely, because there's still areas that they're just developing like crazy, but Phoenix for the past 8 years has just gone
people
crazy.
retire there.
Yeah.
So that's a good.
There's a lot of businesses that are going there, distribution centers that are going up.
Everybody's leaving California.
Everybody's leaving California. Our politics are especially if you're outside of California, like most of the people in California think that it's a little messy, but if you go to like other states, they're like, California is a shit show.
I know.
You
Well,
know?
it's just all over the place.
So,
I know, and I think about moving, but like, I can't.
I had friends bail
I live
out.
0.7 miles to the beach.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take it. I'm just one of those. I think I'm gonna be here forever. I'm just gonna weather through. I'm gonna keep praying that things will get better in the state of California, but I'm stuck.
Change is coming.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know whether it's going to be better or worse.
Dude, I've already hyped myself up for the past couple of years, like building all my stuff. You just got to stay positive.
Yeah.
Just eventually it'll get better.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I can leave. But I do want to invest in Texas.
Yeah.
That was the plan. But now I might be thinking Florida. We'll see.
Yeah.
Or just leave here and go get my lake house in Florida.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure that I've come to the conclusion that I am meant to have a lake house at some point. So we'll see.
It's a life goal.
Yeah.
Gotta have them.
I've been on the river, the lake. Like, no, I'm pretty sure like I'm supposed to be a lake person. So we'll see. It's in the goal. Just run around and paddleboard every day. Yeah. Just work from home on your lake house. Like that's where I'm going.
That sounds nice.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And to finally, just to wrap up here, what does it look like for you? So 2026, fresh years starting. Yeah. You have your business. You guys have been crushing it, 300 doors. Real estate, the project management. I just love that together. Yeah. Just like great relationships. What else are you dipping into this year, or what are your your plans of 2026?
So we're going to continue to build the property management aspect of it, because that trickles down into all the real estate sales stuff, as I had mentioned. So keep driving that. That's important. We want to just continue. There's exponential growth in that. Another thing about that line of work is it becomes residual income, because I've seen 2 huge dips in the real estate market in the 20 plus years that I've been in it. And I know people bail out of it because the income dries up. Yeah. It's sort of like the mortgage industry when rates just go sky high. People just have to. They're almost forced to get out of the industry. So with that being, as like the cushion and sort of the platform that continues to just bring in income for us, even when the market turns, which it hasn't turned in a long time. So eventually it's going to happen. There's always some sort of correction in the market historically, and it will happen. And hopefully it's nowhere near the 2008, 9, 10, huge valley that we hit back then. Hopefully it's just a minor correction. Some people can take advantage of the fact that home pricing might come down. I don't know that 2026 is the year where home prices start falling.
I don't think they're going to fall. I think they're going to keep climbing.
I think, and it's hard to speculate because
everyone keeps saying that they're going to crash, but I'm like, I don't think so. There's no crash.
I remember specifically I was in like my home purchase mode, like for myself in 2017 and 2018, and I was like, it's going to crash. Like, I'm just going to wait for it to crash. And then finally, one of my buddies who's in commercial real estate's like, Justin, you can't sit on the sideline anymore. You just have to buy the house.
Just buy.
And I did. And fortunately, I'm excited that I
bought
a house and got all the equity growth that we've had over the past 6 years.
Especially California, I don't see it going down. I see that there are price cuts, but again, once the rates go lower, the
affordability
the prices are going to go back up. We already know this. So in some areas, I have seen them come down on the for my refinances, which has been strange, but other than that, I don't see. I have a lot of people tell me that too, like, oh, I'm gonna wait till they're going down, and I was like, bro, the best you're gonna get right now is these price cuts, and then you utilize them. You use it as a strategy. But other than that, I don't see them.
So Yeah, so I think that, that's the focus of the year. I mean, I have quite a few listings coming up that are going to be multifamily and a condo. But so I'm going to focus on those sales, really drive the property management aspect, and then continue to just stay in communication with my clients. I think that's, one of those things that you need to constantly do. It's like a touch point, just make sure that they're aware that you're there, that you think about them. And that this is what you're still doing, so that, when the time comes for them to buy or sell, they either use you or they're having a conversation with their friend and they say, oh, you need to talk to Justin at DE Properties. He's my guy. That's what you want, is referrals, know, in this business, as everybody knows. That's the objective.
What it's all about. Yeah. Yes. We do love the referrals.
Yes.
If everybody was wondering. Those are my favorite. I know. Those are my favorite, the three-way texting.
Yeah. Let me introduce you to my friend. I told him about you, and, here you go. She's looking to buy in Corona Del Mar.
I just did that to one of my girls, and I introduced her to an investor, and she put it on social media. It was super cute, but she's like, see, this is what I want. And I was like, dude, it's exactly.
Yeah.
And she's like, this is my love language. And I was like, it really is. Yeah, when somebody sends me a new client or introduces me to somebody, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But no, I love all of that advice. Seriously, I think that's so overlooked. And so I try to tell more people, but you could still put, the only thing where people struggle with getting the duplex or the fourplex is that you need to show more reserves. And that's where a lot of people just don't really have that. So they'll have to show, especially in California, that could be 20, 30,000, that they'll have to just have. So I think that's where some people struggle. But I think that method is super overlooked, and I always try to shine a light on that. Even with veterans, I was like, we can do no down payment, and you find a duplex, a 4-unit.
Yeah.
So I love that method. I think that is just great advice and totally overlooked.
You just got to be, especially if you're young and you want to do that, I think there's a lot of opportunity there, and you just got to be kind of jump in and then
just keep building.
Keep building them. Yeah.
And all right. Well, thank you so much for coming. Feel free to share, comment, subscribe. I'm going to have all of Justin's stuff below. And until next time, bye.
Bye.